Hey, FB fam, here on another Get Me Through Wednesday. I'm a little late today. Had a meeting that I had to attend and talk about some future stuff, some conferences and stuff like that. Lashanta, good to see you. Sister Martha, good to see you. Keisha, good to see you. Before I get started, Reverend Jay, I see you. Before I get started, just be, as I often do, want to invite those of you who are in the LA area, if you're not connected to a church, come by, visit Chosen Generation Fellowship Church in the city of Long Beach. Our services are at 12 p.m. 90 minutes of growth is what we call it. We're located at 5601 Orange Avenue in the city of Long Beach. So come by. You're definitely going to get the worship experience. You're going to get the word. And we always pride ourselves on the fellowship. So you are not coming as a guest. You're coming as family members. So come and just visit and check in on us. Brother Arthur Manley, good to see you, my brother. Today, real quick, I just want to get on and share something that we dealt with on Monday. So Monday we have our devotion, our prayer devotion. Why King, man, good to see you, bro. Hope all is well with you and the fam. Monday we do our prayer call, and we usually do a devotion. And on Monday we did a devotion dealing with Matthew. We dealt with Matthew 36, chapter 5, verse 36 to 37. And I think one of the cool things that we did was that verse talks about your words. And it said, and I'm paraphrasing, let your yes be yes and your no be no. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that we place value in a lot of different things. When Lady Karen and I got married and we had kids, and we had our two older kids, my man Big Chuck is in the building, man. Charles, good to see you, man. We were living in an apartment and stuff like that. And so when we stepped off into this home ownership, we've learned over the years that since we've been in that home, it has acquired value. And so what was the cost that we paid for it? That value has fluctuated over time. And when you deal with homes, you talk about value. So value in homes typically will appreciate, wherein the value in a car will depreciate. So the longer you drive the car, the more that the car depreciates. And you look at value. Most of the things that we do, we're valuing it. Our time on work, value. So the time that we spend working, the value is how much do we get paid? What is our income? How do we negotiate a raise? The more work we do, the more we want to get paid. It's always about value. Even in relationships, we look at the value of the relationship. Is the relationship worth us sticking together? Or is the value of the relationship mean that maybe we need to part ways? We're always equating value. What is the value of that item? Today, we got Lyft drivers and Uber drivers on strike because they don't feel like they are valued. But sometimes we don't equate the value of our words. And that scripture in Matthew 5, 36 and 37 talks about what is the value that you place on your words. Sometimes we just use words and we don't even understand the value of those words, the impact of those words. And at the end of the day, we say things that we think at the time mean nothing, but the words that we place over that is valuable. So my question to you today is, what are the words that you're speaking? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying with your words? But then what is the undercurrent of that? And so you can tell somebody that you love them all the time, but if your actions show that you don't care nothing about them, your words are valueless. What are the values of your words? That means that if you say that you're going to do something and you're going to be there and I got your back, you got my support, I'm going to ride with you all the way. That means that if you don't show up when it's time to show up, your words mean nothing. And so at the end of the day, let your yes be yes and yet your no be no. Those are valued. That means that whatever you are speaking at some point has got to come out in your actions. So the problem that we have in today's society is that a lot of times we speak words and we don't connect words to actions. Let me show you something. If you invite somebody to a party and they say, you know what, yeah, I might be able to do that. I'll get back to you. That means they're not coming. If you invite somebody to a function and they say to you, oh, well, you got to remind me. Why didn't you remind me? That means that wasn't a priority in the first place. You always got to understand that words have value. Words have not only meaning, but words have value. And the more that you speak over people's lives, the more that you will see that people will begin to see who you are, not through your actions solely, but by the words that you speak. So now the next question is, what are the words that you're speaking over your life? What are you saying over yourself? Are you constantly saying that you broke? Then don't get mad when you broke. You've already put the value of your status financially over yourself. Oh, I'm broke. What are you saying? That I'm not good enough. Don't get mad when nobody thinks that you're good enough, because you're putting the value of words over your life. When you say that, oh, I could never do that, don't get mad when it never comes to pass. Words have value. That's why in the scriptures you will notice that Jesus connected a lot of his ministry to the words that were being spoken. That's why it was very carefully crafted how his ministry was when it came to the value of words. The woman at the well, she said, "You're not even supposed to be talking to me, man. I'm somebody, you're of a different culture. I'm a different culture. We're not even supposed to be in the same space right now." That whole conversation was about the value of who Jesus was. She thought he was asking her for some water from the well, not even realizing that he was the well and he was the water too. Value of words. What is the value of the words that you are speaking over your life? As of today, you got to change how you talk over yourself. You got to change how you talk over yourself, because of the value of words that you speak over yourself change, you'll see that the value of the words that people speak to you will change. We got to be careful how we talk. We got to be careful of how we speak. We got to be careful of how we use words. You got to understand that at the end of the day, if you're not going to do it, be okay with the no. Some of us are in the game of trying to be people pleasers. And so stop saying yes and then getting frustrated when you can't come through on what you said. Say no in the first place and get it over with. Are you going to be able to make it? No. So you're not going to be able to come to the party? No. I need you to come to this meeting. Are you available? No. Be okay with the no. That's why the word says, yes, let your yes be yes. If you're saying yes to something, that means your actions have to follow. That means that if you say no to something, that same action has to follow. I don't want you to go through this week, the next week, the rest of the year, not understanding that your words have value. So be careful of what you speak. If you say that little Johnny and little Tyrone ain't going to be nothing, don't get mad when they grow up and they ain't nothing. You've spoken over them. My son had an event on Sunday where he was going through the links, the achievers. And one of the things that I told him was I was proud of him. You got to realize that when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist and Jesus came up out of the water and the heavens came open and the dove dropped, one of the things that was very poignant is that God said, "This is my son in whom I'm well pleased." The value of words. That changed the trajectory of Jesus's ministry. That validated him. that affirmed him for who he was going to be and the assignment that he was going to carry out. Me speaking that over my son validates him. It affirms him when I told him, I am well pleased with you. You have accomplished something today that no one else has accomplished. You've done something today that is special. Validation, affirmation. You've got to be sure that the value of your words, if let me put it to you like this. Don't get mad when people start treating you like old school Zodies. Most of y'all don't even know what Zodies is. Zodies was the Target, low budget Target before it was Target. Okay. If don't get mad when people start treating your words like bargains, $2, $3, $4 instead of the richness that it's supposed to have. Your words have value. Be careful of how you speak, not only to each other. We live in a world and in a society right now to where everybody wants to say everything that comes to their mind. We post it, we say it, we feel it. You got to realize that your words can cut, and it's like a two-edged sword. But at the same time, you got to be sure that you're not speaking wrong over yourself. How are you speaking over yourself? What are you saying over yourself? Are you affirming who you are? Or are you discrediting who you are by your words? You can't get mad when someone else discredits you if you discredit yourself first. Words have value, and because words have value, that means words have meaning. And if words have meaning, that means it's attached to an action that is just as valuable. One of the things that I find nowadays in the church is that we are good for saying that we need the church, and we use the church to validate us, but then we are very hurtful with our words to the church. We want to speak bad over the church. We want to speak bad over the pastors of the church. We want to speak bad over the leaders of the church. But sometimes you got to realize that you've got to speak life. If something is dead, you got to speak life. If something is dying, you've got to speak life. You've got to understand that life is in the power of the tongue. And this is in the book. This is nothing, you know what I'm saying? God didn't drop that down on the revelation for me. That's in the book. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. But what are you speaking? If you're singing praises and speaking praises on Sunday, but you cussing somebody out on Monday, what does that say about the value of your words? What does that say about the value of your character? So we got to be careful of how we speak. You got to understand something, that what is going on in your life can change in the split second based on how you speak. And I'm not telling you something that I read in a book. I'm telling you something that I'm living, because life can get you into a box to wherein if you say I quit, don't get mad when nothing work out for you. Sometimes life can get you in a situation to wherein you want to cuss out everybody, including yourself. It's all in the power of your tongue. The words have value. Therefore, when you get into the thick of it, when you get into the toughest situation, when you get into the situation where you just want to throw up your hands and wave the white flag and throw in the towel, that's when you got to speak those words that give power to that situation. Because then that situation will turn around based on what you're speaking into it. What is your word value? Before today ends, what is your word value? What is the value of the words that you speak? What is the values of the words that you speak over your life? And what are the values of the words that you speak into others? It's very important. So as I leave you today, put some as my young folks say, put some respect on your word value. Put some respect on it. Realize that you have to speak into life, and that you speak life and you speak it more abundantly, not by what you can do, not by what you can produce, not by what you can work, not by your charisma or any other skill set. All of that changes with the words that are uttered out of your mouth. Your words have value. Now go forth and show that value to someone else today. Give somebody else the word that they need, that they can hold on to. Amen. Come back next week for another Get Me Through Wednesday. Hope this bless you. Click those likes, click those love buttons. Most of all, share this out with some folks, man. Some people need to know that their words got value, and that the power of the tongue is what's going to change the trajectory of their situation. All right. Thank y'all for joining. Sister Booker, my friend Marissa, my high school friend Wendell. Good. Everybody, thank you guys for joining. Be blessed. Like I said, share this out with some people because somebody else needs to know that their words got value. All right. Amen. Be blessed. Pastor C. I'm out.